security has been very tight. The players have been cool. You know, they have time for playing cards, have time to have fun and all that. But I'm sure whatever they are doing at the training sessions have always kept them cool. They've kept their focus, and I think Antoine Semenyo have said that, look, they are going to surprise the world, and they are happy people see them to be underdogs. So there's no lot of pressure on them, and which I agree with them. And for me, I think that it's been cool. As it stands, they are just waiting. They were hoping to play one friendly before our first game against Panama in Toronto, but unfortunately, as we speak, there's no confirmed country that will be playing Ghana and all that. I'm told Honduras too has pulled out of the supposed friendly that will be supposed to play on Camp Tuesday. That's tomorrow. That they've pulled out. But on the whole, I think the team is cool. Everybody is fit. The training has also been very good, and just that Antoine Semenyo didn't play our last friendly against Wales, but I'm sure the coach has got plans for the players, and everyone is fighting very hard. As Stephen Appiah said, I mean, you have to fight for the shirt, you have to fight for a position, you have to fight for yourself and make a name for yourself. And I'm sure among the African countries that is representing, this is Ghana that they are talking about. Ghana doesn't have a team, Ghana is nowhere, Ghana will not qualify and all that. But I think the players have kept their focus, and it's good that the technical team has been able to keep them to that level, to have the focus of whatever they are doing. Scouting is going on, video analysis are also doing their job, giving information of the Panama team and all that. So for me, I think that camp is very good. Each and everyone is very ready for our day. That is on the 17th. But I'm sure for now, everything is cool and calm in camp. Yeah.
The first game is, as you mentioned, on the 17th, which is what, 9 days from now?
Yeah.
9 days from now, the Black Stars will start their journey. Panama also are getting ready. I don't know if over the weekend you got to see or whether you've seen them so far in any of their friendly
I've not watched any of their friendlies, but I've just read online and also heard some news about how they are playing and all that. But I think that we should appreciate them. You see, we shouldn't take them to be a country that people don't talk much about when it comes to football. But among the friendly matches that they've played so far, I think they've lost only one in terms of the friendlies that they play after they qualify for the World Cup. They just lost only one. I think it's just only one that they've not scored.
Yes, they scored
all their friendly matches they played. So let's take their game against Brazil, for instance. It was 6-2. They were able to score 2 against Brazil. You ask yourself, why did Ghana score? Why never has Ghana scored 2 passes or put 2 balls at the back of Brazilian net? I don't remember. And they played their second friendly. They won by 4 goals to 2, meaning that they've scored 6 goals in 2 friendly matches. And the last one, I think they played 1-1
with Bosnia.
So they played 7. They've scored 7 goals in their last 3 friendly matches. How many goals has Ghana scored? you understand my point? So it tells you that in every game that they play, they put the ball at the back of the opponent's net. That should be a worry. And Ghana is also thinking about its defense line. So I'm sure Carlos Queiroz knows this. The players themselves are aware of this, and we should be able to work towards it. And you see, everybody or every Ghanaian is talking about Panama. They ever show more. Yes, the name is there on paper. You see, Ghana is stronger than Panama, but there's one thing that we also have to know. That look, in as much that we believe that we are better than them, they are scoring in any of their friendly matches they've played. They are putting the ball there. Meaning that they've got good finishers.
If you look at their results from January this year, these are their results from January this year. They played 1-1 with Bolivia.
They scored.
Yes. They lost 1-0 to Mexico.
They didn't score.
They drew 1-1 with South Africa.
They scored.
They beat South Africa 2-1.
They scored.
They lost 6-2 to Brazil.
They scored.
They beat Dominican Republic 4-2.
They scored.
And then they drew 1-1 with Bosnia.
So it tells you that just only one against Mexico.
Yes.
That is where
that's the only game
that they couldn't score.
score.
So in as much that we want to win against them, we need to score and prevent them from scoring. And it's a difficult thing. Now that we are thinking about who are you going to pair with Jerome, or are you going to maintain the same central pair, the team that played against Wales or not? We don't know. That's why Ghanaians were thinking about Black Stars getting one friendly before. And even if that game would have come on, I'm told it was going to be a closed house friendly match because Carlos Queiroz felt that a lot of people are visiting the training grounds and probably their opponents may spy on them and all that. But in as much that we think that they may spy on us, I think we also spy on them. So at the end of the day, we need to play our cards well and we need to get the right players and the right system to go into this game. Because look, I am afraid because look, if a team scores in every game that it plays, it tells you that the potential of their strikers, it is positive. It is positive. You struggle to get a goal. You struggle to create chances. Because your strength has always been your midfield. And this time your midfield is not like the previous midfield. So you are thinking, who am I going to start alongside this player or that player? For now, we believe that yes, in terms of our right back, Senenya has been able to give us that positive output against Wales. So we believe that, look, that side is settled. We have Gideon Mensah, we have Babaraman. In as much that people are talking about Babaraman failing to close in on Nico Williams for that cross, for that equalizer, people believe that our left back probably it is okay. Our two centre backs, we are thinking about Jerome and then Ajiti or Pepra. You understand? And then, of course, we have Lucas also in. We are yet to see him play. But in midfield, how are we going to have it? Thomas Stepper tape. You are talking about psychological issue. Sibo came on and he did very well. Renchi, I mean, direct player, central midfield player who has got the vision and then the awareness of that young man is very excellent. You have the likes of Enes Niyama try to also create spaces for himself, move into space, run with the ball, commit opponents with the ball. That we can hope to have the same from Antoine Semenyo. That is if he's to start. So for me, I think that we should be worried about how we will create chances and how we will score. Because in as much as we are thinking about Panama, we should also think about our goalkeeping department. As it stands, on paper we have Benjamin Asare as number one, but we don't know whether
he will be there or will be
of course.
Okay.
Of course, but for now we should be able to know because I believe that in Germany we knew Olele was going to be imposed. In South Africa, we knew it was Olele. We went to Brazil, we knew it was going to be Fatah Dauda or what's the name? I'll just get the name. That guy was who's in Norway. Kwarase. But definitely it was Fatah Dauda. And then, of course, we went to Qatar and
there was
Atizigi. But today, on paper, it is Benjamin Asare. But after the game against Wales, people are talking about that's Atizigi. Qatar, now, and when you watch him in tournaments, at least we've watched him in Qatar and we've watched him in a competitive friendly match. You can clearly see that no, I think he doesn't joke. You know, in terms of his communication, reflexes, awareness, and his command at the back is solid. Benjamin has also been very good in terms of his confidence by building the attack,
trying to organization.
Of course. The only problem I have with Benjamin Asare is that when the ball are from the
crosses, he seems to be.
See, his decision making is very poor when it comes to that side. And this is a tournament whereby crosses are going to come in more often than through the middle. So for me, I think that Carlos Queiroz and his technical team knows what to do, and I'm sure that a lot of people are talking about Panama, and I'm sure the Black Stars themselves know that look, it is a must win because we don't need to play the England now before 1+1, 2+2. But the English team that I watched against New Zealand, if there's anything to go by, I know they missed the services of Declan Rice, who probably is resting, and then Bukayo Saka. These are key players. I'm sure they are going to start. So if they have Kobe Menu in midfield and Declan Rice, of course, I'm sure that is the team that they're going to use. And they have Bellingham, who is also going to be part of the offensive players. And Harry Kane, he scored. But I think that their performance is not too scary. If we are to put up a very good team and have a very good plan, we should be able to match them. But then we have been able to go through the Panama game. So I'm sure conversation will be going on, and the players themselves know what is at stake.
Talking about Panama, I'll be getting to my Zoom line in a second. But just to give people numbers, so Panama, if you count the number of goals they scored between January and today, 1 against Bolivia, 1 against South Africa, 2 against South Africa. So that's already 4. 2 against Brazil, 6. 4 against Dominican Republic, 10. 1 against Bosnia, 11. I say that the teams they play against, let's not count them. But the fact is that in 11 games between January this year and June this year, Panama have scored 11 goals. So we have to think about Panama very carefully.
I like what you just said. Not about the opponent.
It's the fact that there's something
been able to
about
put the ball
them.
there.
They score all the time.
Meaning they create chances.
Yes, they score
and
all
that
the
should
time.
Be, that is what we should be thinking about.
Well, let's see what Carlos Queiroz and his team will do. But let me go to the line. We have another coach joining us. Coach Sefa is in the studio. His fellow coach is also on the line. Kwabna Danso is a CAF licensee coach and he's a video analyst as well. Last week, we spoke a bit about Panama. He highlighted some of the things. Today, we'll do a deeper dive into Panama and what we should expect and how we should think of playing against them. Coach, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, my brother. Hope you are doing well.
Yes, we are fine. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine by His grace. I'm fine.
Wonderful. We've been talking about Panama. Last week, we had a look at Panama. This weekend, they played one more game. They played 1-1 against Bosnia. I think this looks like their final game. I'm not too sure if they'll play another one. But they conceded in the 23rd minute. And then in first half injury time, they managed to equalize. Giovanni Ramos gave them the equalizer. Coach, just your thoughts on, I don't know whether you saw the friendly. I don't know if you did. What are some of the things you noticed? And what other things can you tell us about the Panama team? Because they are the first team Ghana will be playing against when the Black Stars take to the field on the 17th of June in the World Cup.
Yeah, Nathan, good morning. And then let me greet Coach Sifa at the studios and then all the listeners out there. I took my time to watch the game, the Panama against Bosnia game. Mm-hmm. And there were some few tactical points that I noted that today, when I begin the tactical analysis, definitely we are going to delve deeper into it. Because Panama showed us how they attack their set pieces. You see, now in football, set pieces are very, very important. And I was listening the conversation that you and Kusifa were having about how Panama, they score a lot of goals. Let's not forget that in the last couple of games, they score from set pieces too. Okay. So if you remember the Panama against Brazil game, Panama scored a free kick goal against Brazil. Okay. Yes, some people can say maybe it was deflected along the line and all that stuff, but it was against Brazil. They scored a free kick goal. And against Bosnia yesterday, Panama scored from a corner kick. And if you took your time to watch the game, Panama rehearsed on 3 different set-piece techniques that I will highlight all of them to our listeners and then viewers. So today we'll take, as you said, a deeper look into Panama, how they set up their team shape in and out of possession, their build-up, their greatest weapon offensively, their defensive shape, and then set pieces. So these are the 2 things that, or the 5 things that we are going to take a deeper look today when we start the tactical analysis.
All right, so let's get into it. You've highlighted something very interesting. Panama and their tendencies when it comes to set pieces. So let's go into that. What kind of set pieces are they scoring with? Corners, free kicks? Do they use patterns, 2 men behind the... Just run us through the various things they do from set pieces so we can get an understanding of their strengths from that side.
Nathan, then before I come there, let me start with the tactical analysis of Panama, and within that analysis, the set pieces is also an embodiment of that, so that when we get there, we can explain it better for our viewers. Okay.
All right. So please go ahead.
Thank you. So Ghana is in a group with England, Panama, and then Croatia. And we've decided to take the teams one after the other, analyze them, let Ghanaians know their strengths and then their weaknesses. But Nathan, if you look at all these 3 teams, there is one thing which is a constant amongst all these 3 teams. Okay. That is ball possession. Yes, ball possession. Nathan, in the European qualifiers ahead of this World Cup, if you take a look at the top teams in terms of ball possession, England was the best team in terms of ball possession in the whole of Europe. They had an average of 74% of ball possession.
74%?
74%.
Wow.
In fact, in Europe, out of the 54 countries, Croatia was 6th in terms of ball possession with an average of 64%. So England coming first, 74% ball possession. Croatia sees 64% of ball possession, and these two teams are in a group with Ghana. If you shift the analysis and move to CONCACAF, Nathan, the whole of CONCACAF, the best team in terms of ball possession, can you guess?
Panama.
With 62% of ball possession. So Ghana is in a group with two teams who were the best in terms of ball possession from their various confederations. Panama from CONCACAF, England from Europe. And then we have Croatia, who averages 64% of ball possession, also in our group. So it's a group where most of the teams know how to possess the ball and pass. But after our analysis, we are going to understand how they do it and the objectives behind it. Because in football, possessing, you don't possess the ball just for the sake of possessing it. No, every team has the objectives and then what he wants in that possession, and we call that one possessing with purpose. The possessive style of Panama is different from the possessive style of England. Okay. And at the end of the analysis, we are going to understand. So today we are going to focus on Panama. Let's begin with their team shape. The last time we talked briefly about it. So we are going to just run through their team shape and then we move on. Mm-hmm. We will look at their team shape in possession. We will look at their team shape out of possession. So I'm going to share my screen here so that we see Panama's team shape in possession. So Nathan, I hope you can see.
Yes, I can
on
see.
The tactical board. Yes. This is Panama's team shape in possession.
It looks
they play with a 3 at the back.
It looks like something like
the last time.
Yeah, it looks like a 3-4-2-1.
It's Sporty FM, the voice of
Exactly. So they play with a 3-4-2-1, and these are their player roles and then positions. So they have the right-sided centre back, the left-sided centre back, and then the central centre back, who most of the time is the sweeper. They have two central midfielders in their team. And in their central midfield, they have Adalberto Eliezer Carrasquilla. And Carrasquilla is their main man in their central midfield, paired with Aníbal Godoy. So this is Carrasquilla, and then this is Aníbal Godoy. Most of the games, these two players partnered at the central midfield for Panama. Now they have their wing backs. So at the right wing back, they have Caesar Blackman, and then at the left wing back, they have Eric Davis as their wing backs, and then they have two number 10s or two offensive or attacking midfielders. And there's this thing that I would want to talk about: the qualities of the attacking midfielders or the offensive players. Nathan, if you look at attacking midfielders, what we normally call the number 10s, there are qualities of them and they are different. If you take a number 10 like Fermin Lopez, you cannot compare Fermin Lopez's qualities and his attributes to a number 10 like Ryan Cherki. Because you see, Ryan Cherki thrives in those tight spacing and his dribbles and all that. But Fermin Lopez is direct. Mm-hmm. If you look at the number 10s, the double number 10s of Panama, Nathan, they are in quote, the Fermin Lopez type. They are the direct type. They are not the Ryan Cherki type, no. So they are number 10s, double number 10s, but they are the direct type. And then they have a center forward in Cecilio Waterman leading them. So this is how Panama, basically, this is how they set up. And I decided to go deeper why Panama preferred a 3 at the back. And I understood something. Nathan, you know that Panama's coach is Thomas Christiansen.
Yes, Thomas Christiansen. He's been with them for about 4 to 5 years.
He's been there since 2020.
Okay, so that's 6 years.
Yeah, since 2020. So there's that consistency with them. And would you believe that at age 18, when Thomas Christiansen was a footballer, the great Johan Cruyff told Barcelona to sign him. So he eventually signed for Barcelona. And it was at that point where, up close with Johan Cruyff, he fell in love with the 3 at the back formation, because the great Johan Cruyff that we all know, or a 3-4-3 diamond formation. So Barcelona under Johan Cruyff. So whenever they are coming forward, trust me, they attack you with numbers. So this is how they do it. Whenever they are attacking, the right wing back will come forward to occupy the right wing. the left wing back will come forward to occupy the left wing. The two attacking midfielders will try to occupy the half spaces here, and then Cecilio Waterman, their center forward, will also join them. So they will attack you with 5 players. Now, Carrasquilla and then Hannibal Godoy, at times they make it this shape. One will be ahead of the other, and then this will be their rest defense, their back 3. At times they make it flat. So Carrasquilla and then Hannibal Godoy, they will make it this shape. So they can either make it flat like this, or they will play one ahead of the other. So this is how Panama, whenever they want to attack you, Nathan, they do it. Okay. Once you have the ball and they want to defend, as most of the 3 at the back teams do, they will come back, they will arrange their back 3 very well, and then their wing backs quickly will rise back and join, making a back 5. So in this shape, Panama will have a back 5. And this is where it's very interesting. When they get their back 5, now they will arrange a midfield 4 in front of the back 5. At times, it's a 5-4-1. At times, it's a 5-3-2. Depending on the number of players that the opponent will leave in their defensive line. It's the opponent leaves 3 players in their defensive line. Panama will move with a 5-3-2 instead of a 5-4-1. So this is how they will make it. If you leave 3 players in your defensive line, maybe your 2 center backs, and then your number 6 will drop and join them, making 3. So once Panama sees that you have 3 players in your defensive line, they will change their shape to a 5-3-2. But once Panama sees that you have only your 2 center backs, there are 2 players in your defensive line, then they will also go for the 5-4-1. So this is how Panama, as a team, how they attack, how they defend. This is their defensive shape. Now we are moving on straight away to their build-up. How Panama organizes their build-up.
Okay, Coach, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Let me announce it. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Time check is 8:20. Coach Ebenezer Sifa is in the studio with me. Coach Kwabena Danso is on the line explaining some tactical concepts concerning Panama. Now, for those who are watching us, or if you are listening to us and you are enjoying it, you can hop onto our Facebook stream, the YouTube stream and all, and so you can get a visual image, right? You can get a picture as Coach Danso is doing the telestration, so you see what we are talking about. Listening to it is great, but watching it is better. So if you are listening to me, kindly go to Facebook at Sporty FM, and then you can enjoy the discussion we are having. Coach Ebenezer Sifa is with me in the studio, and then Coach Kwabena Danso is joining us on the line on the touch screen to explain certain concepts concerning Panama. Coach, kindly continue for me.
Okay, Nathan. So now we are moving on to the build-up play of Panama, and this is how they do it. Panama in their build-up, they use the 3-4-2-1. But as I told you earlier on, the build-up of Panama, the possessive style of Panama, is different from that of England, and here comes the difference. Whenever Panama has the ball and then they are building up, Nathan, they have 2 things in mind. The first one is to build up and take the ball to the wide areas, to their wing backs, so that they can attack you through the wide areas, through the wings. That is the first one. The second one is that they will hold the ball, try to play some small passes, some short passes, to lure you, the opponent. You come forward, try to press them, leaving spaces at your back, and then they will go with a long ball and attack that space. So whenever Panama has the ball and then they are building up, look for these 2 things. Either they are building up, they will find a free player at the wide areas, they will take the ball wide and attack from there, or they will build up with short passing, the opponent will come forward trying to press them, leaving spaces at their back, and then Panama will go with a long ball.
Okay.
So
Coach, let me ask you something. On the screen that I am watching, I've noticed something, and correct me if I'm wrong. You just mentioned that Panama like to go wide. So one of the 2 options is that they either lure you with short passes and then they go long, or when they build up, they look to go wide. On the screen that I'm watching, I noticed that the play is lopsided towards my right-hand side. And it looks like they want to isolate the left wing back, so they go through that particular wing back. Is that a correct observation I'm making?
If there's a word more than correct, probably I would have used that one for you. So yes, that's how Nathan they do it. So most of the time, they will take you to one side, isolate the opposite side, they will take the ball there. At times, they will take you to one side, put the ball back to the other side, and come back to where they started and finish you again. So how they play is very, very tricky. And I'm playing the video so that we can better understand this. So this is Panama in their back three. Now, you see, from the wide area, they enter your box, and their two attacking midfielders will join Blackman, and then that is a goal. This was from a corner kick. And how Panama, they did it, you see, they are using some short passing. Why? Because they were 2-0 up, and the game is at the 84th minute. So it means that at 84th minute, 2-0 up at home against El Salvador, they can, use the short passing to wear down the time. But as they were doing it, and they saw an opening at the wider area, trust me, quickly they will use that option and then go wide and try to hit you from there. So that is how Panama they does it. This is a game against Guatemala. And looking at Panama against Guatemala, they've seen a free player at the wide area. They give the ball to him. He comes inside, gives the ball to Cecilio Waterman, and then from there, it's straight power, shot. And let me say that Panama, if you allow them, their players at the zone 14, trust me, they can hurt you because they have that power, they have that accuracy from long range. Okay. And I hope you remember the goal that they scored against Brazil.
Yes, I remember. That was
from a long range before they scored that free kick against Brazil.
Coach, you mentioned...
you've seen Cecilio Waterman
Coach, you mentioned...
scoring the same thing against El Salvador.
Yeah, you mentioned zone 14. For somebody who is not a coach, has never sat in a coaching course, what is zone 14? Where is zone 14 on the football pitch?
Okay, so zone 14, then probably let me take you to the tactical board and then show you right now, very quick, so that we can continue.
Okay.
Zone 14 is the zone around the arc, this area. Oh. I hope the tactical board is clear now. Yes, I can
see. So you're talking about
area.
The area outside the penalty area?
Yes, around this area. This is where we call the zone 14.
Okay.
And most of the time, you see, since this area directly faces your goal, it is one of the most dangerous areas to leave opponents who are very good with long range free here, because this area is directly facing your goal. So once the opponents are good from those long range effort, trust me, from here he can find either the top or the down corners of your goal, and it will be game over. Okay. So that is the zone 14.
All right.
So now let's move on with our video, and then let's continue. So this is Panama and their build-ups. Now when they build and they get up front, their front three comprising of 2 number 10s and then 1 number 9, Cecilio Waterman, is very mobile. They move a lot. And they are very intelligent. What they do is that if they see that the wing backs have come high, now the 2 number 10 stuck inside trying to occupy the half spaces. If the wing backs delay, they are late with their surging runs. What they do is that their wing backs their number 10s will come low, play as wingers, and then the wing backs will rather go inside and occupy the half spaces. And these are some of the things that whenever you are playing against Panama, you should be noting. Now, how they are using short passing, they move to the right. They went to the right. Now they found their right wing back, their right winger there. And then they can do the combination play quickly. They can attack you from that particular side. So yes, they will be possessing, but their possession hinges on 2 things. Either they are possessing for you to come out and then they can launch a long ball, or they are possessing for them to, find spaces at the wide areas. And once they get those spaces at the wide areas, trust me, they are going to come at you with their wing backs. So that is the build-up of Panama. I don't know if there's a question or I can move on to their greatest weapon.
You can proceed. Yeah, Coach Sefa is here.
Okay.
Coach, you were pointing out something to me.
I just wanted to because after analyzing how they use their wing backs with that long balls to the flanks, if an opponent wants to hit them, what do the opponents do when they play the 3-4-2-1 system, more or less a 4 a 3-4-3 system that they play. So I'm asking if, for instance, Ghana wants to hit them, how do Ghana hit them when they go with this 3-4-2-1 system by using the wing backs?
Okay, coach. So a very good question. Now I am showing this on the tactical board. They've come out attacking you with their wing backs. It means that there's a space here, the space that the wing back left. So there's a space at the right side, there's a space at the left side. So in order to hit Panama, these are the two areas that you must target. This space, the first one, and then that space. So it means that you must get players who are very quick into these zones. So by the time that the wing back will decide to track back, by the time that the right wing back will decide to track back, your player will be already there. Your player will be already attacking their center back. And one good thing is that if you get a player here and he gets the ball, Kochi, as you can see here, he is directly attacking their center back, and that is a 1v1. Once he's able to take on this center back, he's going directly to their goal post. So that is a weakness in the three back. And last week, I pointed it out that if you look at the ages of their wing backs, they are 8. So recovery runs throughout the 90 minutes becomes very, very, very difficult for them to maintain it throughout. Because Eric is around 31 years, and then
Eric Davis
is also around 29 years.
Yeah, Eric
so
Davis is 35.
So the recovery runs throughout 90 minutes becomes very, very difficult. So if you want to head them, these are the two areas, Kochi, that you can stay and then head them.
Excellent. I told Nathan just off, and I just wanted you to repeat for him to know that, yes, that's excellent. And do you believe Ghana will have such fast and pacey wingers to be able to hit them?
Definitely, Kochi, we have them.
Don't mention name. I just want don't mention name. I just want to know. Yes and no. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Come now, just in line with that. So, from what you are saying, if those spaces behind the Panama wing backs are the spaces we can exploit, then it will mean that how we set up we need very disciplined players who are ready and seeing the space, so that the moment possession breaks down, they are ready to make the run. But does it also mean that we need to have midfielders who can find those wide men with the passes?
This is
Nathan,
FM, the voice
the
of sports.
pass from the midfielder is as important as the run from our wingers.
Okay.
Because if we have even Vinicius Junior at the wings, and the pass is a wrong pass, Vinicius Junior will take 3 or 4 touches before he can control the ball. And by that time, their wing backs would have recovered.
Yeah.
So we need midfielders with that passing accuracy to the wide areas. And again, once they give the ball to the wide areas, we need our front two to quickly attack the box. That is non-negotiable. You must quickly attack the box, because that is where our wingers eventually are going to put the ball. So aside getting those pacey wingers, we also need a front two who will quickly attack the box. Because at that particular point in time, that will be a place where Panama will be vulnerable. So if they are vulnerable at that area, there's no chance for delay. No, we are quickly attacking the box through the flanks, and then we enter the box and try to cause some havoc.
All right, let's proceed to the next point you wanted to speak on, please.
So the next point is the greatest weapon of Panama, their greatest tactical weapon, and that is the long balls. So we are going to have a look at how they do their long balls. The last time I highlighted some of the long balls, and when they did the open training, that was where, in fact, I noticed that pattern. When they did the open training, they were rehearsing a lot on the long balls. Nathan, most of the teams, when they do open training, at least they will try to do some possession drills and all that. Just like yesterday, Spain. You see, Spain were playing 8v8+4. It's a possession drill in a very tight area. And once I was watching it, I understood why Spain usually excels whenever it comes to that possessive style. But for Panama, they were not playing those 8v8+4, those 4v4+3, and all those possession drills. No, they were rehearsing on long balls. and it shows in their games. This is Panama against the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Let's look at how from just one pass, Panama was able to score a goal. So just one pass to Cecilio Waterman, he gets the ball and it is over. This is a goal. So just one pass from their center back, their left-sided center back to their center forward, and then Panama takes the ball up. Panama gets a goal. So this angle will help us to see it very, very, very well. So Nathan, I hope this angle is very clear. So yes. A long ball comes in, then their center forward takes the ball, and that is it. It's a goal. So that is how they play. Aside this game, I would want to show you a different game that Panama played, and that was their game against Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
The game that they played.
Yeah.
Nathan, against Bosnia, another long ball came from the same left-sided center back. So it means that he's a player. If we don't press him, he has that ability to find his forwards with a long pass. And with this ball, they were unable to score. But at least it was an accurate ball. So I decided to bring it up so that we can have a feel about how they do it. There are some few details about their long balls, and I would want to highlight the details in their long balls in the next video so that we can understand it very, very well.
Okay.
Panama don't just stand up and say we are going to play with the long balls. No, there is a trigger for that long balls, and that is what we are going to look at.
Okay.
If you look at the trigger, now the first trigger is the distance between the Bosnia player and the Panama left-sided center back. Nathan, when I used my device to calculate for the distance, would you believe that I had 17.4 meters? It means that the distance from the pressing player to the Panama left-sided center back is 17.4 meters. And that is too wide for any player to send in a long ball. He will be comfortable. Why? Because the press is not effective. Again, if this video goes forward, now we can see one thing here. Why Panama decided to send the ball long is very simple. They waited for the trigger, and this is the trigger. The trigger was the spaces in between the players. Now, not only in football, we have spaces in between the lines and spaces in between players. Spaces in between the lines. The last time we highlighted some of them. Maybe you have.
So we are talking about the defensive line and maybe the midfield line or your midfield line
exactly.
and the forward
Those
line.
are the spaces between the lines.
Yeah.
And we have the spaces between the players. Those are the actual distances between your players in the block. So if you look at this, the spaces in between the center backs of Bosnia, the first one was 17.1 meters. That was the space between the left back and then the left-sided center back of Bosnia, 17.1 meters. The second one, the space between the two center backs was 17.7 meters. Now the third one was the space between the right back and then the right-sided center back. That one was also 24 meters. So there is that huge space. And once there's the space, what Panama does is that the forward players will run into that space and then they will try to locate them with a long ball. So the first trigger that Panama looks before they go for the long ball is the spaces in between your players. Once they have those spaces, Nathan, trust me, Panama are going to go long against you. And I decided that, okay, if this is how Panama does it, if most of the time they like to look at the spaces in between the players before they trigger their long passes, can Ghana defend against that? Nathan, I'm giving you two videos of Ghana, just two videos of Ghana, and then we would use that one to judge for ourselves with Coach Sefa at the studios that if Ghana can really defend against that. Now, this is the first video, Ghana against Wales, the game that we recently played. I decided to go through the game, re-watch the game, and try to see if I can get a place where Wales were, relying on a long ball. And this is it. Now, this is Wales playing. And Nathan, I hope you've seen the player that I've highlighted.
Yes, that's a Ghanaian player. So that should be one of our center backs. Is that Jerome?
So the player that I have highlighted right now, if you are looking at the arrow, I made it red. So red means that one will be for Wales. if I had made it yellow, that one would be for Ghana because on the day Ghana wore yellow and then Rose wore red. Nathan, the player was running from the second line of Ghana. You see, our first line was our front two. The second line was our midfield four, and then we have our back line, the center backs there. So he was running from the second line, and the second line means that it is from the midfield line. But none of our midfielders actually tracked that particular run. We were lucky.
Is that not Jan?
If I'm playing the video, you can see it here.
Coach, is that not Dan? Okay, Dan James is further wide, but I think I get what you're saying.
Yes. So you see, the player moved from the second line to Ghana's defensive line with nobody tracking him. But we were very okay. Why? Because our center backs spotted it, and then the player, they eventually intercepted in that particular play. But the question is that, what if the long ball is coming from, or the runner is coming from our defensive line? Because with this, the runner was coming from our midfield line, and our center backs were able to spot it. So I decided to go back, look into the archives, Ghana games. Which of the games did we play that the runner came from the defensive line? And I had this video for you, Nathan. Ghana against Central African Republic. I hope you remember this.
I remember this game. I remember this goal so well. This was the equalizer.
Yes, the assist was from Geoffrey Kondogbia. So let's look at it. The runner was from our defensive line, not from the midfield line. And when he took the ball was a goal. So the long passes, the long balls that Panama are an expert. Ghana have shown against Central African Republic that at times we are susceptible to it. And this centre back pairing was our best too. It was Salisu and then Jiku. But Central African Republic, with one long ball from Geoffrey Kondogbia, was able to locate their centre forward, and then they were able to score from this distance.
Coach, so, let me even give you one more example that maybe you may have missed. Ghana playing Sudan in Libya in that neutral. Yes, this was on neutral territory, right? I think
it was played in Libya.
It was played in Libya. It must have been the first or second goal. And again, a long pass from back to front took out everybody, and then the Sudanese managed to score from another long pass. So maybe that's a third example you can find just to confirm and just to check. But I do remember that they scored from long like that.
I think that
definitely. So
I think that the position of Juku and Salisu was wrong, because you don't allow the opponent striker to be in between the two of you. One should be in front, one should be behind. So whether there's a long ball from wherever the long ball, either the first player picks it or the second player. But by the time the striker,
so you're saying that one defender should engage, the other should be the cover.
This should be the striker.
Yeah.
This should be one defender, another defender. So with the long ball, if the first defender do not pick, the second
one should be able to pick.
So by the time the striker even overtakes the second defender, the first one has already closed in down. So their standing position was even wrong. As professionals are there,
that is one.
It was very wrong. The standing position of the two centre backs were very wrong.
I see.
Were very wrong.
You see, from here they were flat.
They were flat. Yeah, they were
and then the player
one
just
line.
entered through them.
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, Coach, please continue.
So as Kuti was saying. Okay, so that is Ghana and how we also defend our long balls. And I think that if we are going to beat Panama, we must defend the long balls better. Because for Panama, trust me, they are an expert when it comes to these long balls. Now, the next thing that we are going to look at from Panama is their defensive shape, how they defend without the ball. And this is a video from their recent game against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Nathan, have you seen their defensive shape?
Yes,
it's a 5-4-1 mid block, and that is where the tactical content comes into it. Nathan, you see, in most teams, once they line up with a 5-4-1, most of them is with a low block, in fact, a deep block in their own box trying to defend. But Panama as a team combines the two of them. They combine a 5-4-1 mid block with a 5-4-1 low block. And to me, they do that to perfection. They combine the 5-4-1 mid block to the 5-4-1 low block. Now, if you are looking at this particular video or this particular image, what happens is that they have their 3 center backs, their 2 wing backs have joined, making a 5 at the back. But with this 5 at the back, the role of the back 5 is different. Now, the role of the back 5 is that they must ensure that there are small vertical spaces in between them. There are very, very, very small vertical spaces in between them. And then once the ball switches to either side, they can quickly do the seams or the shifting and then go there and press. Again, if you look at the midfield 4, the role of the midfield 4 in this particular image is very simple. Nathan, have you seen how very narrow their midfield 4 is? Especially there are 2 central midfielders, Karaskila. Have you seen how very narrow they are?
Yeah.
Trying to get close to their center backs in order to prevent a big space in between the lines for Bosnia to operate in.
Yeah.
So their primary role is to screen the central midfield, is to prevent the access in between the lines, as I rightfully said, and then is to support the wing backs whenever the ball is played wide. So that is the role of the 4-man midfield. Screen passes in central midfield, prevent access in between the lines, and then support the wing backs whenever the ball is played out wide. Again, they have the lone striker there, and he is there not to try and win the ball, no, because he's only one person, he cannot win the ball. But Nathan, have you seen how he has positioned himself? We have Bosnia's pivot, their number 6 there, and the striker or the lone forward of Panama is screening the Bosnian number 6 so that he cannot get the ball. So that is his primary role, to screen the pass to the pivot. Again, he will force with his body positioning and then his body orientation. He will force the ball to one side so that you cannot, so that your game will be more or less predictable. Okay. So assuming he will force you to the left side, the entire team knows that you are playing to the left side, so they will shift there and press you. Or if he forces you to the right side with his body positioning, the entire team will know that, oh, okay, then you are going to the right side, so they will go there. So basically, this is their defense. They protect the central corridor, they close down the half spaces, they force possession into the half or into the wide areas, and then they maintain numerical superiority on the back line. Nathan, let's look at something here. If you can count the number of Panama players at the back line, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
But how did Bosnia attack this? Because one time I was learning from Enzo Maresca when he joined Chelsea. They asked him how you can defend against teams defend, or how you can attack against team defending in the back 5. Enzo Maresca said something. He said, if the team defends in a back 4, you must attack with 5 players. Okay. But if the team defends in a back 5, you must defend or you must attack them with 6 players.
Of course. So you always have an extra man advantage.
Extra man, a +1. So if you are going to count the number of players for Bosnia, now they have 1 player wide here, very, very wide. That is 1. They have 1 player in the half space in between their right wing back and then their right-sided center back. That is 2. They have 1 player between the 2 center backs there. That is 3. They have 1 player in between the central center back and then the left-sided center back. That is 4. They have 1 player in between the left-sided center back and then the left wing back. That is 5. And then they have 1 player at the wide there. That is 6. But in moments where we will control the game, in moments where we will possess, we have a controlled possession. Can we have that boldness to attack with 6 players on the offensive line? That is a question that I think most Ghanaians would ask. So this is how they defend, and this is their defensive shape. If there's no question, I'm moving on to the last bit, which is set pieces.
Okay, just hold on. Coach Sefa says he has a question for you.
Yeah, you see, the opposing attacking with 6 players, meaning that they have no business in the second balls in midfield. So meaning that they need to have an excellent player who will be able to identify those wide players who are free. That will force the back 5 defending to be able to also close them down. Then that is where they are going to have the depleted spaces within the back line.
Okay, I think I get your. So you mean that, coach? So if I get you right, if you attack with 6 against 5,
yes,
the plan is that your most extreme wingers, left or right, should start to pull the wing backs away from the back 5.
Yes, with
that means that so it is winger on fullback, winger on fullback. You've taken 2 of them out.
Yes,
which means that now you attack 4v3.
Yes,
in the middle it's 4 against 3 because you've taken 2 out.
Excellent.
Okay.
So you need an excellent player who's a very good passer of the ball,
who can find
from where their lone striker is. So the moment he gets the ball, then it tells you that, look, we've gotten somebody who can decide after scanning before the ball comes. So his awareness should be excellent. So this should be tactically disciplined players that you should have. I hope you understand. These are tactically disciplined players. And concerning their back 5 and the 4 midfield, they are doing that because they want to prevent a second ball for the opponent to pick. So there's no way the opponent is going to pick the second ball.
Okay, so the principle is that if I defend back 5 and the midfield 4, I want to take away the chance for you to win the second ball.
Of course, because the space is so limited that there's no way you pick a second ball.
Okay. Coach, tell me this. What is the danger of the second ball? If I play it in and then they head it out, what happens if my team gets that ball? What is the danger?
The danger is that the moment your centre back loses concentration, you are dead. And every second ball is almost closer to the point 14 that he did mention.
The zone 14.
Do you understand? And that is where players who have got drives scores from that distance.
Well, I get it. I think so you're saying that, so if I play the ball into the areas, I'm invariably pushing the defensive line closer to their goal.
Yes.
Now, if I get the second ball that comes back, I have a chance to shoot at goal.
So that is where there shouldn't be enough space between the back line and the central midfielders.
So the other team gets the second ball. You are taking that option away from them.
And this is defensive organization from the back 5.
Okay.
You understand? And this thing also needs to be rehearsed. I mean, you need to practice this at training. And of course, because the moment you lose the sight of it, you'll be punished. So the way coach is talking about, it tells you that, look, the Panama team has really, really done a lot of work on this, and they are perfect on it. You see their lone striker, where he's standing, where the diagram shows the red, right, where you've highlighted the red.
Yeah.
You see the 2 opposing defenders, they've opened up. So if the striker has got pace, a simple touch, a second touch, he'll finish up.
So that means that, assuming that the blue team is attacking and it breaks down, and they play it straight through the middle.
You see where the position of the lone striker is very dangerous, because the one defender has to also be behind him, so that you'll be safe. That is why often most managers wants to see their goalkeeper as libero,
to be able to come out
when the long ball comes in. But if our players who are tactically indisciplined, who doesn't improvise, then you have a lot of issues. Our game against Panama, and I've told you, it's a big game. We shouldn't look at Panama because it's Panama, but it's a team that is very dangerous on any day.
Okay. Let me come back to you. You wanted to, let's proceed to the next point you wanted to make, please.
Okay. So
hello, Kwabena, are you there? Okay, all right. We'll see if Kwabena's line will stabilize for us. But that was, if you just tuned in, this is the Sporty Breakfast. My name is Nathan Kwa. I'm in studio with Coach Ebenezer Sefa, who's a coach and scout. Coach Kwabena Danso is also joining us. He's a CAF licensee holder and a video analyst. Just taking us through some pointers concerning Panama, right? Someone we have to look out for, how we can attack them, or some of the big things that we need to take note of in terms of their shape, their style, their approach. Michael Asaribredu has also joined us. Michael, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the Monday morning tactical class. You are late to class. You have to sit at the back. Michael, I don't know if you have any thoughts on what you may have caught so far.
Mamba class in terms. So I missed the earlier part.
You missed the earlier part.
Got on when Kwabena was explaining the shape of the team and how Maresca chose to counter teams depending on their defensive structure, whether they go with a back four or with a back five. And so that was where I just got on.
Okay.
It's unfortunate that the line dropped. So
yeah. I think
I'm a late comer.
Yeah,
pardon me.
No problem. That's fine. I think Kwabena is back on. Kwabena, can you hear us?
Yes, please.
All right. I think the connection dropped. Yeah, you were moving to your next point. Can you please get to that one so we can proceed?
Yeah, so this is how Panama, they attack their corner kicks, specifically their corner kicks.
Okay.
For their free kicks.
So in this case,
ones...
Kwabena, hold on. So in this case, Panama is the team that is taking the corner.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay.
So they,
okay. I don't know what the issue is with Kwabena's line. It was working well up until now, but I don't know. Immortal, let's see. I don't know what the issue is with. Is he? Is the network from Kwabena's end? Okay. Well, let's keep communicating. Okay. The line
do it. They have 3 weeks. Overcrowd the far post. As we.
Hello, Kwabena.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes, you are back on. Sorry, your connection seems to be dropping, but you are making a point. So you mentioned that Panama has got 3 ways. One, they like to load or overload the back post.
Yes, the far post.
Okay.
The voice of sports.
The far post. So this is their first one. They will overload the far post. Now, this number 11, number 6, number 10, what they will do is simple. They will block the opponent from getting closer to the number 9 here and then the number 3 here. So the one taking the corner kick, all he has to do is simple, is to put the ball here at the very far post for the number 9 or the number 3. So the number 11, number 6, number 10, they are there not because they want to attack the corner. No, they are not there to head the ball. No, but they are there to prevent the opponent from getting access to the number 9 and then the number 3. Why? Because the corner kicker is kicking directly to the number 9 and the number 3. So that is one of the ways that they do it, attacking the far post. Now the second one is, Nathan, have you seen how they've attacked the far post here?
Yeah.
They can arrange themselves like this. But unlike Arsenal, they will not attack the goalkeeper.
Okay.
And it was something very interesting that I saw them doing. Because most of the teams, if they do it this way, now they will get blockers, players who are going to block, as Arsenal were doing in the Premier League.
Okay.
But as soon as the player begins to kick the ball, they quickly run here. They quickly come outside. They quickly run, all of them. They will run here, leaving maybe 1 or 2 there. And there were something very detailed about it that I would want to highlight here.
Okay.
Nathan, if you see that the ball is at this place, the corner, and then there is a left footer behind the corner, it means that
you are swinging it in. If it's a left footer, it's an in swinger.
So he's coming to play, direction of the ball will be this way.
Yeah.
In swinger.
Yeah.
If there's a left footer, it will be an in swinger. So if there's a left footer, all the players will stay here. They will do the first one that I told you. They will block you from getting access to the number 9 swinger. Now, if it's a right foot, come with an out swinger. So the ball will come out to this area, out. So the ball, instead of going in to this area, no, because it's a right footer, it will come out. The ball will come out like this. So an out swinger. So the Ghana team must be very careful of this. If there's a left footer behind it, at that side is an in swinger. If there's a right footer at the right side, is an out swinger. Now, this is what they do. Immediately you decide to play the house winger, all the players, mostly 3 or 4 of them, will run and come here so that the player will cross the ball here for them and then they will attack you from there. So by the time that your players will decide to follow them, they had already attacked the ball. They have attacked the ball. So these 2 players, what they will do is that once they attack the ball, the first ball, and even your players are able to block it, they will come with the second ball and try to finish you off. So this is the second one that they do. If you look at their in swinger, how they attack the far post. Now this was their out swinger, how the players will move away around the penalty spot, and then they'll put in the
Hello.
This is Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
Swinger for them. Now the last one like this. And Nathan, with this shape, I hope we can see this space.
Yeah, I can see it.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes, I can see it.
And what they will do is that they will play short passing and then attack this space, the space that they created. They will play with a short passing and then quickly attack it. So let's move on to a video evidence of how Panama, how they do it. Now, this is a short corner. And then this is the space that I was talking about. I hope this one is very clear. So you see, most of the players are the back post, the far post. But they've created that space here, and they'll put the ball inside that space for their runner to go, and then they'll try to do it. With this particular one, Nathan, the attacker, the player who was going to, put the ball at the back of the net, he did the mistake. But the pattern, it worked. Create the space at the front post, play short passing. One of them will run into the front post and then make the cut back. That is one way Panama attacks the set pieces or the corner kicks. Now, this was actually a goal that they scored against Bosnia. And from this, Nathan, I hope you can see that the corner kick is at the left.
Yes, I see it's on the left side and it's being taken by a left footer.
Hello?
Hello, Kwabena, are you there?
I'm there. It's at the left side. And the player effecting the corner is a left footer.
Yes.
So it means that he's playing an out swinger and not an in swinger. If the ball at the left side, but a right footer is going to take the corner, it means that you play with an in swinger. But if the ball is at the left side and a left footer is going to effect the corner, it means that he's going with the out swinger. And I've shown you that with the out swingers, what they do is that 3 or 4 of the players run back to around the penalty spot, and then you put the ball there from there for them to attack the ball from there. So exactly what they did here. I hope you can see how all of them they ran back to this place. Why? Because but this was the block, and then the second ball was straight into the net. That was a goal. So this is how they do it. With the out swinger, they will run back, the first ball would attack, and then the second one is going to quickly continue. So that is how Panama, how they attack their set pieces in some of their games. So in the nutshell, it is 3 patterns that they use. Create a space at the front post, use short passing to attack that space, bring in a cut back, or load your players at the far post. An in-swinger will go to the far post and then they'll try to attack it from there. Or the last one, load your players at the far post, an out-swinger will come. So before the out-swinger, the players will move to the penalty spot. The out-swinger, the ball will come at the penalty spot and then they'll try to attack it from there. So basically, this is Panama. Today, we've looked at their team shape, at their build-up, at their greatest weapon, which is the long balls, at their defensive shape, and their set pieces, Nathan.
Wow, an extensive look at Panama and what we should all be ready for. I mean, as fans, I'm sure the coaching staff would have done the analysis. I'm sure they know. But Kwabena, thank you for sharing this. This is some very, very good work. As I said, people listeners just pay attention to some of these things. So when we play Panama, when you start to see some of the patterns, remember that you first heard them on Sporty FM thanks to Coach Kwabena Dansi. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Before we leave, though, before I let you go, I just want to ask you this. You've highlighted some very interesting pointers, Panama and their tendency to sit deep and how we must counter them and all of that. In terms of the discipline, defensive discipline, the tactical discipline we need to overcome things like how they play their set pieces, how we can cut them open, how to even defend against some of the things they do, the long pass and all. How much work do you think Carlos Queiroz has to put in? I mean, if you could quantify training sessions, how many sessions will the team need to get very familiar with the roles and instructions that Queiroz will give them in terms of dealing with Panama on the opening game or in the opening game of the World Cup?
Okay, so as the coach said, he has about 10 training sessions before the Panama game. To me, 10 training sessions at the national team level is okay, because at the national team level, we all know that they can even train like 2-3 times even before they go and play. So if you have 10 training sessions at the national team level, it's okay. The only problem is that, Nathan, for most of these things, what other teams do is that because they know that this coach is taking them to this tournament, by now they've sent every detail to the players.
Hello, Coach. Hello.
When they were
okay, all right. We'll have to see if we can bring back Coach Kwabena as we wrap up on the conversation on the Black Stars and what we need to do if we want to.
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll have to bring back Coach Kwabena. Listeners, apologies, network issues there. I'll get back to Michael as I read in a bit. But Coach Sefa, you are here. Before we also wrap it up here, it looks like
very interesting.
Yeah.
I think that is good. I mean, we need to let our listeners and viewers also at least have an idea of what Ghanaians should expect come 17th, because Panama, we are using the name Panama, but they have something special that they can also offer, and they have something positive that we have to deal with, and that is what Coach spoke about. I mean, they are long passes, that is their strength, and of course their set pieces, and of course the way they defend. We should be able to be aware of that. And of course, I mean, a team that has scored as many as 11 goals since January to today in the friendly matches that they've played, tells that they create and they score. So I'm sure Carlos Queiroz and his technical team are aware of this and they are working towards this. But as Ghanaians, Sporty FM will let them know, let them understand, and also have the feel of what is going to really happen. And I'm sure that they will appreciate what Sporty FM is doing, and I'm sure on that day when it happens, they will know that yes, Sporty FM made them aware that this is how Ghana should be approaching the game, and of course how they what they should expect. So for me, I'm sure as it goes on, it's good. Coach will always be coming for the tactical teachings of the game, and of course Asaribodu and the rest. So I think that is good. Let's hope that we don't have any injuries in camp. Our boys should be positive. Yes, we agree we are the underdogs in our group, but I believe that they will come. They will come strong, and at the end of the day, Ghana will be smiling. Yeah.
Okay. I think Coach Kwabena is back. Let's see if we can get the final bits out of him. Coach, you were talking about, how much work Carlos Queiroz and the team will have to put in to be ready for Panama. Hello, Coach.
Yeah. So, Nathan.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, I think that for a national team, 10 days is enough because at times they even train like 3 or even 4 times before a game. And even with that, it's not all the time that they get the entire team. So with this one, I think 10 days will be enough. The most important thing that the team must really focus on is the compactness. The last time I was watching a video of Jose Mourinho when he went to Sky Sports when Gary Neville and co were there. And Jose highlighted on the importance of compactness. He said that the difference between average teams and top teams is compactness. The top teams, they are compact in all their phases of play, whether it's the defensive phase or even the offensive phase, they are compact. And I think that in order to stop most of these things, if we are compact, that is it. And with the compactness, the ideal distances in between the players should be maybe 10 meters. Because if it's 10 meters in between the players, it means that whenever a ball is getting through, one of them can just overstretch and like to block it. But when the distance is like 17 meters, as we saw from Bosnia against Panama, it becomes very difficult to prevent balls from getting through you. So I think the most important thing that the coach must work on in these 10 days is the compactness and then how we can, counterattack. I think if we do that, we will be good to go as far as this World Cup is concerned.
All right, we'll see how things go. Coach, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the insight. We'll catch up tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll talk about England. What to expect from them. Later in the week, we'll talk Croatia. And then as the matches get closer, as we are getting ready to face England, we'll see if things have changed, and then we can do a more contextual analysis ahead of those. But thank you so much, Coach. We'll catch up later. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
All right.
Let me greet my good brother Michael Asabel.
All right.
And then Coach Sifa.
Thank you so much. That was Coach Kwamna Danso, a video analyst, a CAF licensee coach. Michael Asabel is still on. Michael, let me come to you. At least now you caught the rest of the conversation. Did anything jump at you? Did anything in particular grab your attention during the presentation?
I think it's about how they utilize almost every moment in terms of their sequences of play. And it led me to ask this question: who is the coach of Panama? They have a Spanish coach. And so for Spanish coaches, they would love to pay attention to the details and make sure that everything that their team or their players are supposed to do is actually done. They leave no box unchecked. They make sure that players apply whatever tactical instructions have been given them. And so I think, yes, we might be playing a very energetic, a very robust Panamanian side, but I think it also goes into their coaching. They are enjoying quality coaching and their gaffer. And I think it is something that we need to pay attention to. We will not just be playing against a group of Panamanian players. We'll be playing against a group of players who are well drilled in terms of coaching, and they have a coach who really understands how to use them in Thomas Christiansen. And I think these are some of the things we should be paying attention to. In 2018, when they showed up at the World Cup, they came with a lot of inexperience. 2026, they have 7 of the squad members in 2018 making this particular squad. And that should tell you how far they've gone to add experience to what they are bringing to this particular competition. I actually did a read about them last week when we were done with some of our discussions regarding Panama and what to expect from them. And before we even get to their tactical breakdown and everything about them, in terms of players that they are bringing, in the 2018 team, I want to get you the actual names. In 2018, they had Michael Murillo, who is still part of the team. He came into the 2018 tournament as a young right back or defender. He's coming now as one of their senior defensive leaders. Again, there was Fidel Escobar, who was also a young center back. He has tournament experience and he's now coming as an experienced defensive coach. So even if it is just like us missing out on players like Jiku us missing out on players who are very experienced and knows what it takes to play at this level. Again, they had Eric, or known as Eric Davis. He's a left back. He's also coming as a veteran option. Their captain, Anibal Godoy, he was a midfield agent in 2018. He's now their captain and their leader, and he can bring a lot out of the team. And it's not surprising that if they start their first lineup against Ghana, he will likely be amongst them, alongside Coco. Then Edgar Yoel Basenas, he was a wide midfielder. He's also coming as one of the experienced attackers. And then Jose Luis Rodriguez, who was a teenage prospect. He's now a mature squad player. And then their attacker, Ismael Diaz. He was then as a young forward in 2018, but he's now a key attacking option for the Panamanian team. And they will make sure that they bring that quality to bear. An interesting addition is Alberto Quintero. He was part of the 2018 squad. Unfortunately, he got injured, and so he didn't make the 2018 World Cup, but he's coming to this competition to represent them. And so you look at Panama and everything around them, their base formation, as coach has mentioned, 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1. But ideally, when they are defending, it is much more of a 5-4-1 on paper. But when they are attacking, they can get more numbers in your opponent's half, and that is how dangerous they can get. If it is a 3-4-3, it means worst case scenario, the attack will likely have not less than 5 players. So any team playing against Panama, it looks like you are going to be in trouble, because in the attack, the transitioning will be 3-2-5. And so when they are defending, the 2 in the middle adds up to the 3 at the back, and it becomes a flat 5. And then those who are in the advanced positions will likely draw back to give them numbers. So worst case scenario, the attack would have 5 players. If they are defending, they can have 7 players behind the ball. And that is how difficult it is to play against such opponents. Their build-up play, I told you already, they have a Spanish coach. He plays patient build-up, but they are not slow. They will love to have control. They can also go direct with floating vertical balls. Right behind they will go beyond the various layers of the team. So if it is Ghana's attack, Ghana's midfield, if they bait you to press them and you don't press, they will play their slow, patient build-up, pass the ball around themselves. And they are good passers of the ball. You would have to watch them to appreciate this. So if you are pressing them, you need to be very good at that. And the 2 players who are mostly involved during their build-up play is their captain, Anibal Godoy, or Adalberto Caraspila, who they call Coco. He's the one who wears their number 8 jersey. Godoy wears a 20 jersey. So what it means is that they are players like Thomas Partey is to Ghana. Coco is to the Panama team. He's that bridge between their defense and then the attack. Holds on to the ball, is able to distribute. If they want to utilize their wing backs, he's the one to spread the ball to those areas. If they want to still play through the middle, they would basically have to pass through Coco. So it means that they're a team that can pass, whether they are doing the short circuit passes or they are going for the long ranges. And so if our pressing is not as effective as it should be, trust me, they will play between our lines and then they will expose us. So we need a coordinated press. We need to be efficient at what we do. We need runners. Borrowing the words of Carlos Queiroz, he said, he will need players to run. Yeah, definitely. Against Panama, we need to run. We need to put it at the back of our minds that, oh, it's Panama. And so we can idle ourselves throughout the game and still expect to create chances. We need to work for them. First of all, we need to force the Panamanians to make mistakes in their build-up. And then we need to create our own moments by our own sheer hard work. And that is what we need to look at. These are the critical parts of our game. It is not about the personnel. And that is how come, maybe to an extent, I appreciate the work rate of Jordan and what he put in the game against Wales. If you can remember, he was chasing balls. And then he got, I think there were 2 instances where he won the ball, the pressing high. One was when he took that shot that Cardallo deflected. The other one did not really work like it did in the first instance. But I was happy to see something like that from him. Oftentimes, we've seen Jordan Ayew in the Ghana team, and we've berated him that he doesn't commit to the team's hard work without the ball. But in the game against Wales, it was different. He wasn't the player that we often lambasted that he would just sag his fans and then will be idling around the field of play. And when is it that the ball is passed to him as well, then Jordan would have to slow down play and not quickly involve himself. Yes, he was culpable of the latter, but the former, he did it to a certain appreciable level in the game against Wales. He was pressing, he was running, he made a lot of tackles and interceptions. And like I said, statistically, he's a Ghanaian player that won the most tackles in the game against Wales. So I want to believe that all these things we are discussing, perhaps the technical team might have sat down, done some 1 or 2 video sessions with the players to make them aware of what to expect from Panama. Or generally, it is about what Carlos Queiroz preaches. He needs his team to be very hardworking with and without the ball. And it would actually help us in that game that we play against Panama. So Anibal Godoy, Adalberto Carrasquilla, they are the main engine or the controllers of the Panama team in terms of their build-up and what they do. Then their key player, like I said, it is Coco. Coco does almost everything. He receives the ball under pressure. He is the one that carries the ball through the midfield. He is the one that connects with the wing backs. And then he is the one that plays the final pass before the assist. He controls the tempo when Panama needs to slow up the game. So coach spoke about structure. He spoke about style of play. I am giving you names. Adalberto Coco Carrasquilla. If he's fit, if he's starting, he's that guy we should be targeting. He's that guy that we need to actually make feel uncomfortable on the field of play. We need to intimidate him. We need to slow him down. We need to make him feel like a fish out of water. If we are doing this successfully, to an extent, we are stifling the play of Panama under their coach, Christensen. And I think it would help us. It would help us in terms of not allowing the opponent to play their game, and rather us imposing our game on them. If we do that, then things will work well for us. And then again, their wing backs are very important to their team. They do almost everything that they are supposed to do. And their wing backs mostly will come from 3 players, and 2 will likely start for them. Amer Murillo, Eric Davies. Eric Davies mostly plays at the left. If he doesn't, then Murillo will have to occupy there. Murillo can also play on the right. If he doesn't, then there's Cesar Blackman. These are the players who give the energy to the Panamanian team on the flanks. They are the ones that the coach trusts to do a job for them. Trust me. If the coach starts any other wing back, apart from these 3 players I mentioned, that would be a totally surprising move. These are the players who have dominated right from 2025, right from the qualification phase. These 3 wing backs have been the ones that the coach has fallen on to use them for their exercises or their games. Amer Murillo, Eric Davies, or Eric, simply Eric, or Cesar Blackman. They are the players that have actually played a part in terms of what they do. And this is what they do. 1, they will stretch the opponent in terms of their defensive line. So like I was explaining, Panama's shape is 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. But in attack, they can have minimum 5 numbers up front. And the 5 numbers that will be up front, the wing backs will support from the various flanks. So you have Eric or Murillo or Blackman or Murillo, left and right, respectively. And they are contributing to the attack. So you have 2 men just behind the striker. They mostly play one top. So the striker 1, the 2 central attacking options 2, that will make it 3. And then the wing backs will support. So that's why I said minimum on the average, they would have 5 men in attack. So if you are defending with a back 4, then you have 5 players to contend with. It becomes a problem. So it means we need to be smart in adapting the various shapes as and when. If coaches, we need to make the players understand that when it is that we have to defend, yes, we need to have numbers in the middle, but the more dangerous positions that need covering will be the right back position and the left back position. I was okay with the kind of support that Marvin Senaya got in that game we played against Wales. Again, the left back, you could see that Prince Kobnedu was doubling up to support Gideon Mensah to understand that he was even committing fouls. His yellow card came from a foul at the left flank after Gideon Mensah had been easily bypassed. So it means our wingers would once again need to drop back to defend, to support the laterals that we have in our team, in the fullbacks. Let's say the right back and then the left back. And many people question why Prince Kobnedu, for instance, had to play from the left wing in that game against Wales. Again, yes, we played against Wales. It is not your typical Panama team. But if you carefully study the Wales team and then their characteristics, they're a team that also love to utilize their wing players. Daniel James, for instance, at the right, was a tormentor-in-chief for the Wales side. So it means that maybe the coaches knew how to, the coach, or the coaching unit of the Black Stars knew how to offer support to our lateral backs if they are put under intense pressure. So the decision to start Kobnedu there and not in a center forward position was to offer a support or a support link for Gideon Mensah. And that is what we saw. And I think an approach like that will be helpful in the game that we play against Panama. We will need our wingers to offer support to the fullbacks. When it happens in that way, then the Panamanians will not overload us in terms of the numbers up front. And then we will always have a certain odd number to counter what they offer. If they are bringing 5, it means Ghana can match them with 5, or we can even go to the extent of having 6. It means we have one more number than they have. And I think it would help us. So their wing backs are very important to their play. And then the attacking pattern, they do wide overloads. And it goes to explain what I was saying again. We need more numbers at the lateral back positions, the fullbacks. So Marvin Sanaya will need an additional number. If we don't do that, what happens is that they are number 8 or they are number 10s. They play 2 number 10s or 2 number 8, or you can call them half 10s or half 8s. One will likely drop to where they play. So if it's the left and they have the wing back there, likely another player drops to their middle and they either form a duo or a triangle. And they can easily play past you with quick switches. So 1-2, they just excuse the opponent's defender of that particular system or that particular scenario. And they have a man that is free to send in a cross. And so the attacking pattern is wide overloads or long crosses. So they create wide overloads, sending crosses or long balls into the wide channels, and then they attack. Mostly, or 80%, the attack is from the flanks. 80%, they will mostly attack from the flanks. So that is basically the job that I did regarding the Panama team. And those who are the major attacking threats will be Ismael Diaz. He's the number 1 guy that we have to go to. Ismael Diaz is the number 1 guy that we have to go to. He's their number 10. So just remember the name and then the shirt number. He would act like a midfielder, but he's a center forward. He's a typical, I want to find the right player to use, like a Julian Alvarez. Loves to draw deep, wants to play a part of the game, like a typical Wayne Rooney. That is Ismael Diaz in the Panama team. He wears the number 10 jersey. He plays for Club Leon in Mexico. Watch out for him. He came to the 2018 World Cup. He's coming into this edition as well experienced. He knows what exactly to do to help his team get the results. And then Jose Fajardo. Fajardo also plays for the Panamanian team. He plays in Ecuador for Universidad Católica. And so he is experienced. He is 32 years. He wears the 17-shirted number. If he's starting, then himself and then Ismael Diaz will be the main guys to cause trouble. Their main attacker is Cecilio Waterman if he's starting. And then these two, Fajardo and then Ismael Diaz, will play just behind him. And these are the 3 main central attacking threats for Team Panama when they are playing. So we just need to watch out for, 1, stop the balls from getting to those in the central areas. It is one important thing. The center back will get to Coco. Coco will spread to the wing backs, and then there is a cross. Or the center back gets to Coco. Coco to the inside forward in Ismael Diaz or Fajardo, and the true ball will likely get to Waterman. Or there will be that long switch. It gets to the opposite wing. So let's say if it's from the left, they will switch long to the right side. And then there's an early delivery, early cross into the box. Or set piece, which coach was explaining. Then the center backs will attack the box. And it is not about always getting the first balls. They love to also get the second balls as well. And that is how come they have more presence in terms of numbers when they are making their set pieces, whether free kicks or corner kicks. And these are their common attacking moves that we need to actually look at. So, yes, that is it about Panama and what to expect from them. But they are not a team that looks impenetrable. They are not a team that looks unplayable. Definitely, these are their strengths that we are speaking to. I believe that when we sit down to also do a tactical insight regarding the Black Stars, there will be a lot of positives to also talk about. So if you are listening out there, don't be scared and think that we are playing against the future world champions. It is just a tactical analysis of a team and how they play. It could happen that these things we are saying are on paper, but in the real game scenario, the application will not be as efficient as you expect. And you end up saying that, yes, we did a good job against them, and they are not even. So that is it. Yeah.
And I like that part. You know, sometimes I meet people and I have conversations with them, and people say that, oh, yeah, sometimes the media will like to obsess over some of these things, and that football is not that. When you get onto the pitch, it's 11v11. I tell them that, well, the point is no football game is played without a plan. Right? I always hear people go like, oh, players play the games by themselves. No way. No set of 11 footballers will walk onto a pitch without a plan. Even if the plan, if you say, oh, but, teams sit deep. But sitting deep requires a plan. There's a certain plan to sitting deep. You just don't put 11 men behind the ball. You can easily get outwitted and you concede 5 even though you are defending. So plans are important. Tactics are important. So listeners, this is just to give you an idea of typically what Panama would do on an average day. These are their tendencies. All football teams have tendencies. All football teams tend to do certain things. We are just highlighting the things Panama tend to do on the regular, right? I'm sure Carlos Queiroz and his back room, they are more experienced than we are. They would have watched tapes. They would have devised a plan. But this is just to give listeners something to think about, something to expect. If you see that Panama do certain things, they don't do it for the fun of it. There's a reason why they do what they do. Time check is 9:30. This is still the Sporty breakfast. Earlier we had Coach Ebenezer Sefa and Coach Kwabena Danso sharing very brilliant insights. Michael Asaibuedu is on the line. You can send in your comments 054-257-10610, 054-257-10661. I think we have some WhatsApp messages. Let me go through those messages. I'm expecting one more guest, and then we'll try and wrap it up. Nathan from Kaswa says, after watching all our opponents in the group during these friendlies, it's obvious the team will do a lot of defending. So we'll need intelligent partners for Partey who can help do the most with the little possession we can get. I haven't seen Boachi yet, but Jerome will share the long, accurate passing burden with his diagonals from the back. Our most informed player abroad is Semenyo, and he needs to show up. And if Bonsuban and Niama can get going, I think we'll see a good. Now it's either Jordan stops being a ball-playing striker or he starts from the bench. We'll need a lot of energy against Panama, because they might end up being our toughest opponents. They will not be pushovers. Okay? This one says, all these prophecies flying around the Black Stars will do well, but they won't add to the numbers. I hope it's the truth we are hearing. All right. Okay, this one. Okay, I was asking a question about defenders. Somebody says Paolo Maldini and Sami Kufuor. I see. Interesting. Okay. Sylvester has sent us a message. Says, my dad is a massive fan of your work. He never misses your platform. It's his birthday today. You want us to give your dad a big shout out. Okay, it's to Reverend Simon Yahweh J. Mensah. It's from his son, Sylvester Kwabena J. Ajuman. And the message is, happy birthday, Daddy. Thank you for being my anchor covering our family in prayer and leading us with so much integrity. I'm fiercely proud to be your son. I mean, Shao P. That's from Sylvester. All right. So happy birthday to Reverend Simon. Reverend Simon, your son Sylvester sends you a message. It says happy birthday. So happy birthday from all of us to you, Reverend Simon. This one says Sami Kufuor is Ghana's greatest ever defender. Cape Verde will be the surprise of the World Cup. No one is looking at them, but they have a well-organized team and they've been together for a very, very long time. Okay, all right. More messages. Okay, all right. Ernest from Wager says, I've just watched the Nike ad for the World Cup. It's a subtle dig at the 2022 World Cup and it's fire. Okay, I'll have to find that Nike ad for that World Cup. Okay, I think this one is from last week. This one says the Black Stars, Ima from Insam says the Black Stars have got a good squad. All they have to do is choose the right goalkeeper and we are good to go. Watch out for Norway in this World Cup. All right, 054-257-1061. That is the WhatsApp number. Okay, this one is to ASI Nihad Musa of the Edra Command. Wishing you the happiest birthday. You're one of those rare people who make everything better. Hope today gives that back to you. The message came from my DJ Fidelis. series. What's it all about?
So we've just created this environment where our elite clubs can, for the first time, find a place to prepare.
Okay.
Ahead of the upcoming season. Again, this is something common you see in Europe and in the Western world, and pre-season time where clubs really spend a lot to get themselves ready for the upcoming season. And we thought Africa needs something like this. You know,
Great.
We walked around, we asked many clubs, how do you prepare for the upcoming season? And the answer has always been, we just stay home and do whatever. But this time we said, okay, we can do something similar like that. So the idea of the Africa Elite Series emanated from this.
I see. So is it, you mentioned an environment. So am I right to think that it's a space, it's a physical place clubs can go to and get ready?
Yeah. So the idea is to bring, for year one, we are thinking 4 clubs to start small, to one host destination for 10 days where they can prepare, have their preseason, have their training, but also the opportunity to compete against each other in a high performance environment. That's one piece of it. There are other pillars involved. That includes, for me, as you know, I'm a big fan of education and sharing. So why not also bring the coaches together away from the game to talk about the game and the trends and where we are heading and African football in general. Pick up their brains and share. But also open it up to the local coaches. I don't want to give out the destination yet, but the idea is also to include the local coaches, let's say the domestic league in the host city, to invite the coaches also to come and be part of that coaches knowledge share. In addition, there is a technology forum where we are inviting, obviously, tech in the game now, to game changer. So we are inviting tech companies to come in and also share their products to the coaches and, again, help, optimize their environment and be efficient with their work.
Interesting. Okay, so you're a brands and marketing manager. I mean, typically, when I hear brands and marketing, I think of all kinds of corporate firms and blah, blah, blah. What's your role in the African Elite Series? What are you doing, or what do you do on a regular in terms of the African Elite Series?
Okay, so I intend to give our spectators a good show. Okay. And we're going all out. This is, the name says it all. It's elite. So we're trying to put together a very good event for our patrons to have a good experience for the first time. So yeah, we will deliver.
I see.
We are a solid team, so we will deliver.
I see. I love the confidence in the promise. First, tell me, how has it been like putting it together from ideation to now seeing it get off the ground?
Yeah, the biggest challenge for us when we came up with this idea was, where in Africa can we host this?
Okay.
Infrastructure was key. When you're talking pre-season and you're talking elite, you're really looking for the best, the highest of environments that you can create. And as we know, not a lot in Africa you can find this environment. You can speak about Morocco. I can say Morocco because Morocco will not be the host destination, so I can say that. You can say you can find high performance environment there, but where else would you look at, right? But luckily enough, we were able to find one, which we would unveil shortly. So that was key for us. Where can we bring 4-6 clubs in one place where they can all have access to good facilities, good infrastructure? You're talking about gym, quality training pitch, but also the whole city with vibrant and passion fans that would attend the games and welcome the teams there. It was a big part of tourism also to showcase the whole city's tourism to the rest of the world. So we looked at all these areas. And again, once you start to go through, the options start to narrow, right? But luckily enough, we were able to find a destination that would give us all this. And I think the world will love it once we announce it.
Okay. We don't want to give too much.
Not too much.
Away. Okay, tell me, how was it like getting entities or clubs to sign up, right? How easy or difficult was it to get them to say, yes, we want to do this with you?
Sponsorships are a bit tricky. We're still looking for more sponsors. So, but I think they've been welcoming so far. So far, so good. But we're still looking for more sponsors.
Okay.
So if you're interested, we are also interested.
Okay. If you're a brand out there and you are interested in the African Elite Series, or and you are curious, you can get in touch with Faisal or Faisal and Akosi. I'm sure they will leave their contact. Faisal, so when is it happening? When do you want to roll out? When are you launching? So people know that this exists and they can tap into it.
So just this morning we went live with the brand itself, the whole event.
Okay.
We are publicly out there, and hopefully we can reach every corner of the world. So that's step one. Step two is to announce the host city, which we know exactly where we are going, but just finalizing that. When I say host city, meaning we've included the government of the country. Okay. So there's a host federation, and then there's a Ministry of Tourism involved, and there's Ministry of Sports. I almost give away.
You can't give away the location yet.
Acacia would kill me if I do that.
If you did that.
But we've gotten the government involved in this. So again, that shows you how massive we are.
How was it like dealing with the government at that level? Because governments have so many things trying to get their attention, right?
Yeah.
So how was it like dealing with them? How did you get them to buy into it, to say, okay,
it was
we'll
actually quite easy, because
really
there was already an existing problem, and you know this very well, that many African countries, they bid to host sporting events. They invest a lot of money into infrastructure and facilities and all that, and then after the event, nothing.
That's it. Yeah,
right.
I saw it happen in Gabon.
Yeah.
I was in Gabon in 2017.
It's almost like a farmland now.
Yeah, and somebody sent me the pictures of like some of the stadia.
Yeah.
Wow.
A year after, and I couldn't believe it. I was in shock.
Exactly that. So when we pitched this idea and said, look, again, I have to be careful. One of these host cities is going to host AFCON, okay? And the question the government is asking after,
what happens?
What happens? Right, what happens? And so we came up with the solution. Right away, they were like, yes, we want to do it for long term. We want to do it for 10 years.
Wow.
Because now we know every year we can look forward to this.
Can use the facility.
In addition, again, it's not just what you see on the field. We're also talking about economic impact. We're getting people employed. We're bringing jobs. We are bringing visibility to the host city and the government. And sports tourism, as you know, is massive now. So, like I said, we thought we were going to, go into a war in the discussion, together with Acacia, but realized actually there is a need for it. It was the same thing for the clubs. When we pitched the idea, they were like, great, we want this, right? We don't know how to prepare during the off season. So it was just clear, and it makes sense to all the stakeholders we've spoken to. So yeah, that answers your question, that it was very easy to get the government involved. So we would announce that very soon. And then we would follow up with the clubs that would be competing. Already, we've been asked to increase the number, but we are saying no. Something for the first time. You always want to start small. You want to test it. I would want more, but Acacia would kill me if I go more, because that means more work for her.
More work, I see.
But yeah, I think we would start small with the 4, we'd announce it, and then we would move to implementation in August.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So at least you've hinted at August. Okay, so that gives me a bit of an idea as to when exactly.
He can give that away.
That he can give away.
He can give that away.
I see. So in August.
I have to be careful. So sometimes I get too excited and I give away too much.
But I mean, so from all of this, I'm curious. I mean, because pitching to clubs, right? I guess from what I'm hearing, I can intelligently guess, right, that it would require moving them around, moving them from one point to the other. How willing are they to do it, right? To move around, leave their home base and go somewhere, looking at cost and all. How ready and willing are they?
Extremely. They are happy and excited about it. I mean, we saw a problem and we've given a good solution to it. So everybody's happy to come on board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So how much more can you how much more info Faisal and Akosia can you give without letting the full cat out of the bag? At least we know whatever it is happening in August.
That it's going to be elite.
Okay, one.
We're really talking to big clubs, Champions League clubs in Africa. Some that would probably be in the Club World Cup.
Probably, okay.
Nathan, yeah, I know you're a smart guy, but easy. So yeah, it's going to be in August as well during the off season. Yeah. What else can I say?
No. Well, I think everybody else can get the rest of the information off our website.
Okay, and what's the website?
Our website is africaneliteseries.com.
Okay, africaneliteseries.com.
Africa Elite Series.
Africa Elite Series. Okay, let's write it down.
It's also live
Check
now.
It's live now. Okay.
Yeah.
Since it's live now, let me yeah. Once the internet is working, let us see what is happening. Africa Elite Series. All right, here we go. Let's see.
But I can say one thing: there's probably going to be one Ghanaian club.
Okay, you can that you can say that there's probably going to be one Ghanaian club.
Yeah, it's up to you to guess who that would be.
Hold on. Let me click this other one. I can see all kinds of. But listeners, I won't tell you. I can. I'm sworn to secrecy. But yeah,
socials are active.
The socials are active. The website is active. I see. I see. So when are you planning to do like a? Okay, so this is. Are you going to do like a launch?
Yes.
An event.
Yes.
To launch.
Yeah.
So
Okay. We would have a presser a proper presser to release this later on.
Okay.
This is only step one. Just to again announce that this baby of ours is live, and we are looking forward really to share the excitement with the rest of the continent and the rest of the world.
Okay.
For us, the vision is if clubs can go to Europe for pre-season.
Yes.
We want European clubs to come to Africa for pre-season. We've seen a few that have come, but truly we can build this environment where they can come in and experience top, high-level pre-season environment. Pre-season is so important, so important. And if you don't get it right, for me, I think it sets the tone for the remainder of the season.
Yeah.
You ask a very valid question: how are we getting clubs to move away from their environment? This is the only time where you can improve your team dynamics and culture away from your own environment where there is so much noise. Coaches with new tactics and systems, and you have the team 24/7. You can embed that culture that you're looking to do, and do a lot of things with it, right? At the same time, experiencing a new destination, new city, access to competitive games. So for me, I think it's just excellent environment. We say environment because it is truly an environment and not just one time game. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, look, I love the idea. It's a very, very interesting idea, right? An environment where clubs can come in and play against each other. As you said, coaches can test out all the theoretical things they think about.
Exactly.
Try it in an environment where there's... Well, I call it no pressure because there are no points.
Exactly.
No league title to be won or lost, but you can
you can do whatever you
experiment.
want. And for us also, as I mentioned, that coach's knowledge share is to bring best practices to them, right? We are very privileged that we can unlock certain best practices. So why not bring it to the
Sporty
club,
FM.
right? And again, get them closer to the global game. That for me, I think it's really missing on our continent here. We don't really share as much as we should and talk about a game that we should. So again, creating this environment where coaches are free to have access to best practices, but also share and test their own knowledge. For me, I think it's wonderful. It's the best way we can grow as a continent.
Yep. Yeah, listeners, Faisal Chipsa is here with me, and I also have Akosia Nyakum. They are both from the Africa Elite Series. Akosia Nyakum is brands and marketing manager. Faisal, what's your role? Do you have a fancy title?
Yes, he does.
What's that? Faisal, what's your title? I'm so,
How fancy is your role?
So
I can explain
it's not as fancy as mine.
Since you work a lot in the American environment. I love their fancy title like Group VP and Executive VP.
Let's just say he's the team lead.
He's the team lead. I see.
Group lead.
Group lead. I see.
Well,
Faisal, you wear many hats. So this is one. I know that you have this other thing that you started called the return pass.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Okay. So the Return Pass is the parent company, the owners of
the African Elite Series.
Yeah. This is a company I've just launched, started a couple of months ago. It's a little bit of what I do now for FIFA. I think it's time. I'm not leaving FIFA, that's not what I'm saying, but at least I see an opportunity to create something where I can give back more. So I started a Return Pass as an inside-led consultancy service, mainly to clubs, federations, and some athletes. And we work in 4 areas. One, again, you enter into a club. We look to design systems and culture and strategies, and that's sustainable. Really help the clubs be much more efficient with their resources. Again, you'll be shocked to hear this, but many even top clubs, when you walk in, if you go into the boardroom and what you see on the field, completely different. No alignment at all, right? And for me, that's not sustainable. And this is an area where if you really want to be a competitor in the global game, you have to get that part right.
Okay.
So Return Pass, we support.
Yeah. So the boardroom and the football on the pitch don't have to sit in the same line. They have to be aligned.
Has to be aligned.
We can't think of a football club or a football entity as only the things on the pitch, right?
You're wrong.
Things have to be very well
it's
high
not sustainable. You will not last. And for me, I don't think it's a recipe for success. And again, this is not me saying, this is what the best and competitive clubs out there are doing.
That's true.
It's basic knowledge. But again, unfortunately, that's not what we see, in especially in Africa.
Okay.
So we thought, okay, we can come up with this service to support the clubs in the continent to be much more aligned, have a vision, have a people, have a system, have a culture, and let it run like a machine, right? So we support in that regard. We also look at league optimization. So again, many clubs don't even know how they're improving leagues don't know how they're improving from year to year. What are the gaps? What's the standard? Is there quality assurance?
This is
in Europe,
FM,
not every coach can coach there. Not every player can play there. You can't just go in and do whatever you want. There are standards that you need to keep up with. But unfortunately, again, here in our continent, that's not the same. So if I'm a league and I own this product, how do I ensure quality assurance? Because at the end, if the clubs don't do what is required of them, the league then drops, the value then drops, you lose sponsorship, the quality goes down. These are things that, as a league, you really need to have control of. And again, many leagues, as we see here, do not have that. So we support them in that aspect also, to make sure they are well aligned, to make sure there's a quality assurance in place that owners or coaches that come in can keep up with. And then the other part is the team logistics and tournament organization, just like the African Elite we mentioned here, to support them in that regard also.
Okay. Wow, sounds like fun stuff.
It is. It's something I enjoy doing. So for me, it's not work.
I see.
But the good thing is you have people like
Akusa to make it happen. Because
I only think one way all the time, technical, and sometimes I get lost in brands and marketing and sponsorship.
The marketing
so I think
people.
We are where we are now because of great people that are working with us, like Akusa and the others. So credits to them.
Yeah. Finally, the other hat you wear, which we all know, is your work with FIFA. Let me just take your thoughts on the World Cup. Is in 3 days, right? A lot of people meet me and they say that I can't seem to feel the fever. I thought, don't worry, it will all kick in when the tournament starts. First, I just want to get your thoughts on one thing I've been thinking about. Weather, the playing condition, and how teams are going to cope. A friend of mine theorized something. My colleague friend Twitter, he theorized something. He said the World Cup will be won by the fittest team, the team that has the most endurance and can stand the weather. How are teams prepping for the intense condition? Because matches could be very long because of rain delays. Matches could be very long because of the heat. How are teams getting, or how should teams get ready for probably one of the most physically demanding World Cups of all time?
I call that marginal gains. And the ones that prepare for it are the ones that will win. Nobody wins a World Cup on X's and O's. I keep saying this. It's not, and I love Thomas Tuchel's interview when he unveiled his squad. He was very clear. I'm not picking the best players, but I'm picking the most balanced team. And that for me is key. So it's the same thing. If you're only thinking X's and O's, you probably will not go far. So it's going to come down to the little things that you just mentioned. How are we navigating through the weather? If there are delays, how can we still keep the intensity up? But there are lots of stuff there, and FIFA is also supporting with lots of knowledge share to make sure the clubs are at their best. Because again, if the event goes well and the football is of the highest quality, FIFA gains more, and that's how they invest back into the game. So it's of importance to us also to make sure that all the little things, those marginal gains, are out there to the teams, and it's fair. You're in a situation where you give one team or put one team in a more advantaged position than the other. So if you look at even how the groups were done, if you are on one time zone, you remain there throughout the group stages. So it's not a matter of you going from -4 time zone and the next time you're playing the -2 time zone. It would affect the body and all that. So that said, it comes down to experts. You really have to have the experts in this area, and they know their job better than
Sporty
anybody
FM,
else.
the voice of sport.
Whether you need to have all these experts on your team now as a technical staff to ensure, again, you are getting the best of knowledge to pass on to the players. It's going to be challenging, but that's why we love football, right? That's why we love the game.
Yeah. We'll see. I was thinking about it, and I kept asking.
It's true.
The weather. How do teams manage it? Because if you're a team that plays high intensity football, it means you have to manage your resources, your strength, to know when to commit, when not. If you're a team that defends, it means that mentally you have to be locked in because you are deprived of the ball.
Yeah. The last time I was we spoke about this, right? You can't play 90 minutes of football the same way anymore. It's impossible.
Yeah, you have to.
Impossible. You have to manage. If 15 minutes, okay, where do we go? Where do we reserve and conserve the energy? And then where do we go again? Or which areas do we press? Who is the weakest guy? These are the little things that will make the difference. If you go into 90 minutes game with one way, you will not last. So the best managers now have the ability first to identify what's happening and then come up with the solution right away. The best teams have this ability. If you don't have that, then I'm sorry, it won't last long.
Well, we'll see how the World Cup goes. Okay, let's go back home now. Yeah. So, Akosia, finally, do you have any final words for anybody who's listening and is interested in the Africa Elite Series, the very first edition?
Yes, I do. I'd like everyone to check our socials out. X, Facebook, Instagram, Africa Elite Series.
All across. So Africa Elite Series, X, Facebook, Instagram, okay?
And our website. To familiarize yourself with the event. And sponsors should please reach out.
Okay, how can they reach out?
Very, very, very important to me. Yes, they can reach out via email. At the returnpass.com. Yes.
So take that email again.
Yeah. The email is pass at the returnpass.com.
Okay, pass at the returnpass.com. So they can get in touch via email.
It's very catchy, yeah.
You can't miss that. Pass at the returnpass.com. Faisal, final words.
I'm excited. I think it's a time for us to say the most wonderful game and the biggest sporting event. So the world should enjoy. But once that's over, or while you're enjoying, start to think about the next season, and that's where we come in with the Africa Elite Series. Okay. This is Africa. This is made by Africans, and this is made for Africans. And for the first time, we are helping teams properly prepare for the upcoming season. And for me, I'm really excited about this, the opportunity to host this in Africa, in a place where we would all love. It's a very tourist destination, so if you want to come as a fan also, you're welcome.
to enjoy the place.
To enjoy the football, but also enjoy the city. I guarantee you, once it's announced, you would understand why we are going there. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and congrats on getting it off the ground. Faisal Chipsa, he's the team lead, so we refer to him as the team lead with the Africa Elite Series. Akosia Nyanko also joined us. She's brands and marketing manager of the Africa Elite Series. So be on the lookout. The press conference will be done. There will be a launch and all of that. But you can check out the website and their socials, africaeliteseries.com. That's the website, Africa Elite Series, all across social, just to apprise yourself. And you can get in touch with them to have your questions answered and to be a part of the maiden edition of the Africa Elite Series. Thank you, Faisal. Thank you, Akusia, for passing through. And congrats once again. Wish you the very best.
Thank you. Thanks, Sporty. Thanks,
Nathan. All right, 3 after 10. That's how I wrap it up on this morning's edition of the Sporty Breakfast. Rennie from Kwabenya says, hi, I hope you're good. After watching Panama, one thing stands out. We need to play as a unit. They shoot well from far or from range, so we can't give them space. Score too early and we throw them off. I believe this squad can do it. Well, let's hope they can execute. And the final one, Karim from Adenta, says, I don't want to see Augustine Boache playing where Nyama could be hurting Panama. We need to put all our eggs in the first game. We need a good win to allow us breathing room to compete for a good last 32 tie. Interesting. Anyway, that's our Sporty Breakfast for the morning. Many thanks to my production team, Immortal, Abigail, Naneki, and Angela. Shout outs to Flying